Hello and greetings everybody, and welcome to another edition of Jamie's Journeys. And today, on this sunny day, we are coming to you from Florence, Italy. Now this Renaissance city is located right in the heart of Tuscany, and it is some 60 miles from the port of Livorno. And today what we're going to do, we're going to just take a nice little walk for a couple hours, show you some of the sights. And we're starting off our journey today from outside this cathedral, and we are in Piazza St. Croce. And this is a spot where a lot of cruise ships start off their walking tours from, and so today we're going to do the same thing. So I got my map in hand, always a good thing to have around here, and we're ready to get started. So thanks for coming along. Let's go. Well, we came just a short distance to the #1 site in Florence, and this is the magnificent Duomo, and we're going to go inside in a moment. But one of the things I just love about Florence is that everything is so accessible in the old part of the city, the Storico city, as it's called, Centro Storico. And unlike Rome, which is so vast and spread out over miles and miles as the sites are as well, the main sites of Florence are really rather close. So we're gonna head on in and keep on our walking tour. Well, we're going to go inside this beautiful Duomo, which was built in 1296 and is actually consecrated 140 years later. And it's famous for not only its Gothic architecture, but of course the pink, the green, and the white marble. Now, the famous painter Brunelleschi actually painted the dome inside there, which was the inspiration for Michelangelo's masterpiece inside the Sistine Chapel. And we're going to go inside and take a few minutes to admire it ourselves. Well, we're now back outside the Duomo, and it is enormous. You know, it's the third largest cathedral in all of Europe. It can take 20,000 people, and Brunelleschi's masterpiece truly is something to see and admire. Now, as we stand outside, we're thinking if we should climb the 463 steps that go up to the top. There is a bit of a line. That's an excuse enough to say not today. We're going to move on. All right, well, we've now come to the front side of this magnificent Duomo, and boy, it is just truly remarkable. Fascinating. Anyway, we're shooting a bit into the sunlight, so it doesn't make for the best picture. Right behind me is another incredible site, an 11th century building, one of the oldest buildings in all of Florence, and that is known as the Baptistry of St. John. And this is where they did submersion baptisms for centuries. And it's most known for the doors, which are known as the Gates of Paradise. Now, the original doors are now in the Duomo Museum. They were taken out in 1966 when this area was the site of terrible flooding from the Arno River. But the reproductions are also quite spectacular. And as always, there's a crowd over there. So we're just gonna take the camera off the tripod and take you over to get a little better look. Going to be Museo del Bargello, and this is the sculpture museum, and it contains some wonderful works, and you can actually film on the inside courtyard, but not in further into the museum. But it is spectacular, a great place to come if you have some extra time. Well, actually, we were able to get more shots in here than we had originally thought, but for a city that is known for sculpture, this was really fascinating. But time is moving, so we got to get going. Come on. Well, I just came out of Basilica San Lorenzo, and it's spectacular inside. Unfortunately, no photos, no videos, but definitely worth popping your head in to take a look. This is where the Medici family is also entombed. This was their private chapel. Of course, they're most famous in Florence for a long time. Anyway, there's also the new market just over here where they're selling a lot of goods and leather goods, and so we're going to pop by for a little shopping ourselves. All right, just a little tourist warning that it is prohibited to buy fake goods. There are undercover policemen, and they will charge you about 1,000 euros if you get caught. So you have to take that into consideration. And in this market here, this actually is not the high quality market. A lot of the leathers come from China and other places, not Italian leathers, but still good shopping. It's also a place where you gotta kind of watch your belongings. A lot of pickpockets in this area as well. we're just at another beautiful piazza or square, and this is called the City Centro. And the reason I'm talking about this is it looks like a city gate, and it's really not one of the original city gates. Now, some of those still do exist. In fact, in the 1860s, just before that actually, but 1860s, Italy was unified, and before that it was just this number of different republics that were all independent, like states. But when it was unified, the king, between 1860 and 1870, decided he didn't like the ancient walls. He tore them all down. But still some of the gates remain, but we're not going to be able to get to one of those original gates today. All right, we've now come to the most important square, and probably the most popular square as well in Florence, and this is a Piazza della Signoria. Now you're looking at a building which is a Palazzo Vecchio, and since the Middle Ages, this was the political center for Florence, and of course a very important building and beautiful as well. Now, just to the right of that building is the most famous museum, probably in all of Italy. That maybe one of the top ones in all the world, and that's the Uffizi Museum. Now, to get into the Uffizi, if you come to Florence, you have to have a lot of time on your hand because you can wait hours to get in. But you can also book a time over the internet to get in, and that will save you an awful lot of time. But it's a wonderful, wonderful gallery, and well worth seeing, but it does take time. Now also just outside of the Palazzo is the copy of Michelangelo's David. Now David stood on that spot for 400 years, but now he has his own museum, and it's in the Accademia. Actually, I should say his own room in the Accademia, so you can see it there. But this is done to the exact specifications of Michelangelo's David. Now David that you see here is King David. He was David from David and Goliath, and he was really built by Michelangelo as a symbol of the power and the strength of Florence. And it was built really as a detractor for any other republic in the area that felt maybe they wanted to take on Florence, especially Siena. So that is what that symbolizes. And it's a great piece, even this one here, so we're going to go up and take a closer look. Also some other wonderful statues in this area, as well as a magnificent fountain. So we're going to go get a closer look. All right, well, I'm just inside the Piazza Vecchio, just where David is at the door. And if you just come inside, you can go see more. There's different apartments and sites you can see in here. But if you just step inside the door, you're going to see a wonderful sight. And here it is. All right, we're just down a short ways from Palazzo Vecchio, where David stands outside, and here we have the Uffizi Museum, and I love this walkway, very colorful walkway with some colorful characters, but also some wonderful statues. Now, I'm looking up here at Amerigo Vespucci. I think that name is familiar. Wasn't he the predecessor to Gucci or Pucci? Oh, I know what that was. That's right, he was a cartographer, an explorer as well, and in the 1500s, he was the man who realized that America, as we know it today, was its own continent. Hence, the name America, Amerigo Vespucci, the man for which our country was named. We've come literally 30 steps from Amerigo Vespucci and across a little street, the street that has locks on links of chain, signifying people and their attachment to Florence and always coming back to the city. But right behind me, probably the best shot of the city you'll get, the Ponte Vecchio Bridge, the original bridge that crossed the River Arno, built in 1345, the only bridge not destroyed by the Germans when they left in World War II. So take a great look. Right behind me is the Pitti Palace, and I like the front of the Pitti Palace because people just kind of hang out here. But it's the largest palazzo in all of Florence and was once the primary seat of the Medici family, and inside it are 8 different galleries. Well, we've decided to make this our final shot for the day. A little while back I said how the shot of the Ponte Vecchio is the best shot of the city. Well, I was kind of voted out. Each had their own idea of what the best shot was. So it's my favorite shot. But I love this look down the River Arno. So beautiful. And, you know, we as tourists, we think of Florence really as really just being a city for history, for monuments, churches, shopping, but it's really much more. Outside the old city, the new city is really a thriving and lively city, and also it has many companies that are highly regarded internationally for their technology and also for industry, and it's really become an all-round city. You know, as we drove here from Livorno, as you pass the street signs, you don't see the name Florence mentioned anywhere. It's always Firenze. And despite the traffic, despite the people, this is just one heck of a place to come to. So thanks for joining me on another Jamie's Journey, and I hope you have the chance to come travel with me again. Thank you.